Welcome to the Alive Line Network. We're having more conversations with Aileen Dasharova. And hi Aileen.
Hi Nora.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you.
Tell me what you think is important for people to hear about your healing work.
I think at this time, one of the things I've really come to realize, and I really love doing about my work, is really just to remind people that they're normal, they're okay. There's so much isolation that goes on, and people, because of the isolation, and I think this old story of you can't hang out your dirty laundry and all that, we all have dirty laundry. And by golly, mine looks great. You know, yours looks great. Let's look at dirty laundry. Let's talk about it. And I always say to people, for what you went through, for the life you've had, you're absolutely normal. This is normal stuff. There's so much shame that people have and embarrassment, when in fact the gift that I get is because I work with so many people and with myself. I mean, that's the big piece, is getting to know my own stuff, is to say, my gosh, we're all fine, we're all okay, we're all the same. And once we can just relax and start to see our own perfection, that includes the muck and the mud and the stress and the rage and the jealousy, all that, that's part of being a human. And when it isn't functioning for us, when it really gets to this point where it's like, it's too much, then it's good to reach out and to talk, to get new ideas. But not to think that we're bad or wrong or awful or we're doing it terribly. We don't fail. Right. We don't fail. We succeed, and our path and our journey is exactly the way it is supposed to be. The openness, I think opening our heart and connecting to each other to say, oh, it's like, this is my muck. Where's yours? Let's go. Let's
right
go
here.
Muck together. Let's go muck together.
Right,
and then let's go eat and let's have fun. And what the heck? You know, that to me has been one of the most enjoyable and defining parts of it. And you know, and I didn't get to that on my own. There's lots of people that I was in this point at one point, just really like, oh, I totally wrecked my life. I was just in this like, I made all these decisions, my life is over, it's horrible, I'll never get to do what I wanted to do. So many brilliant people and loving people showed up. And I remember one day my brother saying, he's just so intelligent, he's such a genius and so pragmatic in so many ways with a big heart. And he looked at me, he said, Aileen, history's just to learn from. And I looked at it, and it kind of got in this far, and I said, say that again. And he said, history is just to learn from, and he was a history major at the time. And it just soaked in. And I got to let go of all this guilt, beating myself up, not being happy with where I was today in that moment, because I dragged everything from the past into that moment. And again, so many people along my path have said those pieces to me when I started to feel like I'm not okay, I'm not normal, I've blown it, I can't possibly get all the things I wanted because I did this 10 years ago. So the opening up of possibilities, sitting deeply within the perfection, the okayness of ourselves, gives us the opportunity to grab our power. All that thinking is so disempowering. We get to jump ship. We get to bail if we're not in the concept of now is now. All these things happen. History is to learn from. What did I learn? I remember really implementing a lot of that and doing an inventory of myself like on a daily basis. And it would come up, instead of letting it take me over and down and just just mucky bad stuff about myself. Exactly. Because then I could just, you know, let me just whatever, wallow away, watch TV all night, eat a bunch of ice cream, or, you know, whatever my bag was, drink, totally pain, whatever my bag was. Instead, I would take it in, look at it, and say, okay, I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to have that pattern anymore. I don't have to have that behavior anymore. I don't have to engage in that relationship anymore. I don't have to. It's my choice. And then this piece about loving myself, knowing that if I open that bag of potato chips and I eat one, then you know what? There is probably a chance I'm going to eat the whole bag. Just know that about myself and love myself knowing that. And so that also changed, where I would laugh a lot and I'd say, oh, you know yourself. That's who you are. It's
Yeah.
okay. That's who you are.
Mm.
So to love ourselves, know ourselves in all of those moments, and know we're not better than or less than any other person.
Yeah.
We have our uniqueness,
Mm-hmm.
but the spirit of perfection, the spirit of our own innate wisdom, and the calamity of our human lives is the same for everybody.
Yeah. And there is beauty in that.
Absolutely.
beauty in that.
And great stories.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Great
yeah.
stories.
Yeah.
You know, we can come to the place where we can laugh about it. And why it all started, who knows? But when we do our stuff and we come to the place where we can laugh about it,
Yeah.
then the person who's coming around the corner who still doesn't know they can laugh about it, they'll recognize us. And they find us. And we find them. And we help them overcome the guilt, the shame, the yuckiness. So soon they're laughing about it.
Right, right.
And they're releasing this pressure and judgment that they put on themselves through their own beliefs, you know, from external stuff that they carried with them. So we do it together.
Yeah.
We do it together. So I think that's really important.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I think people will really appreciate that. Thank you for joining us today at the Alive Line Network with Aileen Dasharova, and stay tuned for more conversations with healers that are on the Alive Line Network. Goodbye.